What is up, degenerates? Welcome back to Hype Check for yet another video for the UFC. In today's video, I'll give you guys a full card breakdown, going over each and every fight for UFC Kansas City, Max Holloway versus Arnold Allen. As always, if you guys are new here, join the fam, hit that like and subscribe button. We're trying to hit that 50K subscribe mark, so if you are new, it does help out the channel a lot. But before we get into anything, I just want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Stake, the #1 sportsbook and casino available online. So if any of you guys are interested in signing up for Stake, when you use my code HYPE when signing up, I will personally be tipping you guys $75. Yes, I upgraded it from the $50 last week to $75. Only for this week, this UFC card. So when the next video comes out, this offer will be expired. It could be Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, or directly to your Stake account. I'll be tipping you guys personally. It helps out the channel a lot when you guys sign up, and Stake is definitely one of the best sportsbooks that I personally use, and I recommend you guys do as well. All the odds you're hearing in this video are coming directly from Stake. If you already signed up, within 24 hours, you could still type in the code HYPE. All you guys got to do is click that little profile icon on the top right of the screen, go scroll down to offers, and by offers, just type in code HYPE. After you use my code HYPE, whether on the initial sign up or through the icon, message me on Instagram at HypeCheckSports or on Twitter at HypeCheck, and I'll send you guys over that tip ASAP. Thank you guys for all the support. Last week was not my best week betting wise, so I'm hoping to bounce back big this week. If any of you guys want to sign up for my VIP system as well, to join the hundreds of other members cashing in weekly, except for last week, feel free to do that as well. I'll be leaving the link down below. And also, if you do sign up for Stake, I'll even send you my UFC card for this week 100% free, just as an additional bonus. Please comment down below your favorite bets and picks and analyses, as I know a lot of the other viewers like discussing all the fights down in the comment section down below. Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop into the video. Let's do it. Kicking off the early prelims, we got Joselyne Edwards going up against Lucie Pudilova. Pudilova is the favorite at -147, and Edwards is the underdog at +115. Both girls are coming to this fight off wins. Edwards most recently a knockout win over Wu Yanan, and Pudilova a split decision win over Ji-Yoon Kim. Edwards is a very solid kickboxer and will have the more technical striking with a higher amount of volume. Where Lucie has an advantage is with her power and, as of late, her wrestling. However, betting-wise, I really like Edwards in this spot. She handles the range very well, and I think she'll be able to keep Lucie at distance to avoid the power and wrestling. It's a dog or pass spot here. After that, we got Gaston Bolanos going up against Phillips. Bolanos is the favorite at -196, and Phillips is the underdog at +150. Bolanos is making his UFC debut on Saturday. Nicknamed the Dream Killer, he's a 6-3 fighter coming off a knockout win over Daniel Carey over at Bellator. Phillips, on the other hand, is looking to bounce back off his UFC debut loss, which was all the way back in 2020, where he lost via submission to Jack Shore. Phillips is a hard-nosed fighter who gives his all every time he hits the octagon. Bolanos, on the other hand, is more of a KO or bust fighter. However, betting-wise, this is a super weird matchmaking play by the UFC. We haven't seen Phillips in 3 years, and Bolanos is 6-3 with very little experience and tape on him, besides for those explosive knockouts. If I'm in the shoes of the UFC, this would obviously be a matchup to showcase Bolanos. However, I think Phillips is extremely live as an underdog in this spot. Bolanos should win, but I would definitely avoid betting him and putting him in parlays. It's a dog or pass spot here. Phillips just has more experience against higher level of competition. On to the next. Next up, we got Brasil going up against Denise Gomes. Brasil is the favorite at -217, and Gomes is the underdog at +165. Brasil is making her UFC debut on Saturday, fresh off her knockout win over Marnick Mann on the Dana White Contender Series. Gomes, on the other hand, is looking to bounce back off her UFC debut loss to Conclick Sufrisara via decision. Brasil averages over 3 takedowns a fight. She'll be the more accurate striker and puts out slightly more volume. Gomes, on the other hand, will be the more powerful striker who could also land a takedown or two in the rounds. Betting-wise, as the odds are telling you, the debutante is the better fighter wherever this fight goes. However, it's women's MMA at the end of the day, so definitely don't use Brasil as a parlay piece, but I do like her as a bet straight up. She should be able to get it done on Saturday. It's a favorite to pass spot here. After that, we got Lando Vannata going up against Daniel Zellhuber. This fight is at practically pick-em odds, with Zellhuber being the slight favorite at -125 and Vannata being the slight underdog at -101. Vannata is looking to bounce back off his submission loss to Charles Jourdain, and Zellhuber is looking to bounce back off his UFC debut loss to Trey Ogden via decision. And what's very interesting about Vannata, look at his fight history. I'm putting it on the screen. Since 2016, he's been on an insane win, loss, or draw pattern. And if history means anything, he's looking primed for a win on Saturday. On a more serious note, though, Zellhuber will have a big height and reach advantage over Lando. He's 6'1" to Lando's 5'9" and has a 6-inch reach advantage. Vannata starts off his fights extremely fast, which could cause the newcomer some trouble. However, Zellhuber has an extremely high ceiling. He just has to put it all together, so he could show some big improvements on Saturday. Betting-wise, the UFC obviously wants Zellhuber to win this spot. However, I'll be backing the fighter who has way more experience under his belt, is currently the better fighter at near even money. Let's just hope Vannata's fighter IQ is somewhat there on Saturday. It's a dog or pass spot here. Next up, we got Piera Rodriguez going up against Gillian Robertson. This fight is also at pick'em odds, with Gillian being the slight favorite at -114 and Rodriguez the underdog at -111. Both girls are coming to this one off wins. Rodriguez is an undefeated 9-0 prospect, her last win coming over Sam Hughes, and Robertson, on the other hand, is an 11-7 fighter, her most recent win coming over Maria Agapova via decision. And don't let Gillian's record fool you. She's a killer on the mat and is by far Rodriguez's hardest test to date. Rodriguez is a great boxer who throws with big power and is able to land a lot of takedowns throughout her fights. However, she has zero ground control on the mat, and that is where Robertson will have her path to victory, and is extremely dangerous, where she could grab a submission or do a lay and pray on a reversal. If the fight stays on feet, though, she is clearly outmatched. Betting-wise, I like Gillian in this matchup. She looks reinvigorated right now. She won that grappling match over Rose Namajunas, and off a win, I just think all the momentum is with her. Obviously, the undefeated fighter also has a lot of momentum, but I think Gillian, who has a lot more experience under her belt against higher level opponents, I think she'll give this newcomer a little bit of an awakening to what UFC level competition actually is, and I'll happily back Gillian here at near even money. It's a favorite or pass spot here. After that, we got Ed Herman going up against Zak Cummings. Cummings is the favorite at -250, and Herman is the underdog at +190. Two UFC vets going head-to-head in this one. Herman is looking to bounce back off his 2021 loss to Alonzo Menifield via decision, and Cummings is coming off a 2020 win over Alessio DiCerco via decision. Herman is currently on the last fight of his contract and has a 98% likelihood of retiring after his fight. The man is 48 years old. There's not much really to break down about this fight. Betting-wise, Cummings is coming off a bunch of back injuries. However, he'll be the younger, hungrier, and better fighter in the octagon. And as per usual, it's always smart to bet against the guy who is essentially retiring post-fight. It's a favorite or pass spot here, but definitely don't use Cummings as a parlay piece. Next up, we got Brandon Royval going up against Matheus Nicolau. Matheus is the favorite at -200, and Royval is the underdog at +155. Both fighters are coming to this one off wins over Matt Schnell. Royval via submission and Matheus via knockout. Starting off with Matheus, he's my dark horse and favorite fighter of the flyweight division. I legitimately think this guy could be champ. And funnily enough, the UFC matched him up this week with my least favorite flyweight on the roster in Royval. Royval will have a 3-inch height and 2-inch reach advantage on Saturday. And the main reason why I love Matheus in this matchup is because he's levels above Royval on the feet. He's a way more technical striker, puts out more volume, and has the way better striking defense. And in a kickboxing match, you have to back the better kickboxer. No other way to put it. Betting-wise, as long as Matheus avoids those wild, powerful strikes over Royval, he should put on a masterclass on Saturday. He's one of my favorite bets on the entire card. It's a favorite to pass spot here. Closing out the prelims, we got TJ Brown going up against Bill Algeo. Algeo is the favorite at -192, and Brown is the underdog at +147. Brown is coming off a win over Eric Silva via submission, and Algeo is looking to bounce back off his loss to Andre Touchy-Feely via split decision. Brown is a non-stop grappler who attempts to chain wrestle all his opponents, which could cause Algeo some trouble as he only has a 55% takedown defense. Brown's takedown defense is also really bad, sitting at 38%, but Algeo rarely adds in his takedowns. But I could kind of see this fight going like the Spike Carlisle fight, where they're both just trading takedowns nonstop, and it's a really high amount of energy being wasted throughout the fight. So it could slow down in the second, third round, and if that's the case, I really think Algeo will get the better end of it. Betting-wise, while I think the line should be closer to pick 'em odds, Algeo will be putting out the higher amount of volume, and like I said, he has an unlimited gas tank. However, I really think this might just be a lay and pray effort by TJ. Betting wise, it's a dog or pass spot here. I just can't justify Algeo at nearly 2-1 favorite. On to the next. Kicking off the main card, we got Guida going up against Rafa Garcia. Garcia is the favorite at -256, and Guida is the underdog at +195. Guida is coming off a split decision win over Scott Holtzman, and Garcia is coming off his decision win over Mashat Hayaseri via decision. This one will be short and sweet. Garcia is a grappler first, striker second. He does throw with big power in his hands. Overall, I think Garcia is by far the better overall fighter wherever this fight goes. However, there is one major flaw in his game, and that is with his cardio, a problem you don't want to have against Guida, who will not stop until the bell rings at the end of that third round. I could easily see this fight going down where Rafa starts out extremely hot, puts out an insane amount of damage on that scar-tissued face of Guida, gassing himself out to lead to a Guida decision win where he wins the late second and third round to get the nod by the judges. My money, though, will be on the younger, hungrier, and better fighter in Garcia. It's a favorite to pass spot here. I don't think he's a parlay piece, but it's a pretty good bet straight up. After that, we got Pedro Munhoz going up against Chris Gutierrez. Munhoz is the underdog at +170, and Gutierrez is the favorite at -222. Gutierrez is coming into this one red hot on a 7-fight tear. His 2 most recent wins via epic finish, most recently a knee putting Frankie Edgar out cold in his retirement fight. Munhoz, on the other hand, he needs a win in this spot, coming off his no contest to Sean O'Malley, before that off 2 straight losses to Dominic Cruz and Jose Aldo. Obviously, extremely high-level competition, but Gutierrez is pretty high-level himself. He'll have a 2-inch height and reach advantage. He's the better striker who adds in killer leg kicks. He has some of the nastiest leg kicks, and he will be able to chop down Munhoz's legs on Saturday. So I think all of those put into consideration, I think Gutierrez is a really bad matchup for Munhoz, and I think all the diverse striking of Gutierrez will cause Munhoz some major trouble on Saturday in yet another fight that will be staying on the feet for the full 15. Give me the more aggressive and better striker here. It's a favorite to pass spot. Next up, we got Cutelaba going up against Tanner Boser. Cutelaba is the favorite at -120, and Boser is the slight underdog at -101. Both guys need a win in this spot. Boser is 1 for 3 in his last 4 fights, most recently a split decision loss to Rodrigo Nascimento. Cutelaba, on the other hand, is riding a 3-fight skid, all 3 coming by submission, or most recently via knockout to Kennedy Nchukwu. Starting off with Boser, he's making his light heavyweight debut on Saturday, and Boser initially opened up as a big favorite, but has since been bet down to the underdog. He's a dynamic striker who will be the more technical fighter on the feet and has better striking defense. Cutelaba, on the other hand, is a wild power striker and explosive grappler. However, he has near 0 fighter IQ, so when he lands those takedowns or when this fight is on the feet, I really think he'll make a stupid mistake and get finished by submission or by knockout. Betting wise, I love Boser in this spot, and I really think he's taking this move down in weight super seriously. It's a dog or pass spot for me all day. The smarter and better striker here in Boser. On to the next. After that, we got Dustin Jacoby going up against Azamat Murzakanov. Jacoby is the favorite at -189, and Murzakanov is the underdog at +145. Jacoby is looking to bounce back of his split decision loss to Khalil Roundtree, which I thought was an extreme robbery. Azamat, on the other hand, is a 12-0 prospect, 2-0 in the UFC, his most recent win coming over Devin Clark via knockout. Jacoby is one of my favorite light heavyweights on the roster, one of the best kickboxers on the roster, and he'll be by far Murzakanov's hardest fight to date. He's a super powerful striker, so he may land that big shot on Jacoby and put him to sleep. However, you can't be betting in fear of a knockout when Jacoby has been very durable throughout his career, and in general, you just don't hope for that knockout in betting or fear that knockout. Betting-wise, give me the better kickboxer in a stand-up fight all day here in a favorite to pass spot. Now, we go to the co-main event of the evening with Edson Barboza going up against Billy Quarantillo. Billy is the favorite at -179, and Barboza is the underdog at +138. Barboza needs a win in this spot, coming into this one off 2 straight losses, most recently a decision loss to Bryce Mitchell. And Billy Q, he's looking to make it 2 wins in a row, his last one coming via knockout over Alexander Hernandez. This one will be short and sweet. Barboza has fought the who's who of the division, has elite kicks, and is a great striker. Billy Q, on the other hand, is primarily a grappler, but when he doesn't grapple, he's extremely solid on the feet. He has that awkward striking style, but it does land and he's very durable. He's fine taking one to land one, and he does in fact land close to 8 strikes per minute. Betting wise, Billy Q being a near 2-to-1 favorite is definitely disrespectful to Barboza, as this will be Billy's hardest test to date by far. However, if he adds in those takedowns, I could easily see him getting a clear win. It's a favorite to pass spot here, but I'll likely be staying away from betting this one. Onto the main. It's time for the main event of the evening, with Max Holloway going up against Arnold Allen. Holloway is the favorite at -189, and Allen is the underdog at +147. The Blessed is back into the octagon on Saturday, looking to bounce back off his 3rd loss to Volkanovski. Allen, on the other hand, is a 19-1 prospect on a 10-fight win streak in the UFC, most recently a quote-unquote TKO win over Calvin Kattar, where he had to drop out of the fight due to a knee injury. He did, however, look unreal for as long as that fight lasted. A super tough and fun fight to break down. A former GOAT of the division on his descent from the top, going head-to-head against a young prospect attempting to ascend that same mountain. Starting off with Holloway, there's not much to say about him that you all don't already know. He's proven time and time again that he's level above everyone else in the division. However, in his last fight against Volk, I think the damage has finally started to show. That unbreakable chin is starting to crack little by little. He's actually has taken the most damage out of anyone in the division, and he looked like a punching bag against Volk, making 0 adjustments in between rounds, which worries me big time against Allen, who starts off all of his fights extremely fast, throwing heavy shots non-stop, and adds in takedowns very nicely in between. Technically, though, Holloway is the better boxer and is in a very good matchup for him, similarly to Kattar and Rodriguez. He's the slightly faster striker and has better footwork and puts out an insane amount of volume. This is nothing that Holloway has not seen before. He's seen a lot of guys like this, but in my opinion, betting-wise, while I really want to bet on Max Holloway, I just can't. I won't be betting against him, but I do think his downfall will come soon. Maybe this will be the easiest Holloway bet to date, but I'll be staying away. It's a dog or pass spot here. I think Allen is really on his way up to that mountain, and I think this might just be the time where Holloway finally cracks. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to join the hundreds of other members cashing in weekly in the VIP fam, just click the link in the top comment section or description. Good luck, boys. Make sure to comment your favorite bets down below. Peace.